With us, they can just ask the AI as to, hey, call patients with unscheduled treatments that don't have the next appointment and book them to come back in. And then the AI will make outgoing calls to these patients and talk to them in the language that the patient speaks. We have the payment system also integrated with the AI. So, and we have like wireless credit card readers that, they can actually take to the rooms by the chair side. Basically, if people respond to those texts, they're right now without us, somebody in the office should go and respond back to the patient.
But what are the measurements that you're taking so it sounds more like a human being?
Right. So,
Hi guys, welcome back to Real Talk Beyond the Dental Chair. I am your host, Ima Estefi, and today we are talking about artificial intelligence. Not in the way people imagine robots replacing doctors, but in the way AI is already reshaping the way dental offices run. My guest is Farid Fadai, founder of ViVA AI-powered virtual receptionist and office manager built specifically for dental practices. Farid, welcome to the podcast.
thank you, Emma. Thank you for having me on your program.
Can you share a little bit about your story? What inspired you to create ViVA?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My background is actually in tech. I created tech companies and all that. But I have been in dentistry since 2015. Back in the day, I had a DSO. We had multiple dental offices, many, and they were all in Northern California. And to be able to run those offices efficiently, we created a software that would work hand in hand with our practice management software in the offices to kind of make the things easier for the staff. We had our own phone system, we had our own patient communication platform. A lot of the features that you already have seen in the dental office already, we had it integrated in one platform. And because they were in one platform, it was way more efficient because people didn't have to go from one software to the other software. Different pieces talk to each other. So we ended up selling that software to other dental offices. And then the software itself, other than our own DSO, got to a sizable amount and we got acquired. ViVA AI is what I wish I had back then. That comes from our own pain of operationally running the dental offices in a way that, obviously you can imagine for having multiple, 14 dental offices, there is always something going on and the people always needed help to do things because there is a lot of overwhelming tasks in a dental office for the front desk, for the office manager, for people that are not doing clinical work. And obviously, the main focus, the highest priority is when the patient is in the office. You want them to talk to the patient. You want them to kind of do anything that is needed, check the patient in, check their insurance, they talk to them, present the treatment plan to them, all of that. But then at the same time, they also had to answer phone calls. They had to make outgoing calls. They have to contact insurance companies, contact patients to collect their payments, things like that. And, AI, this is in 2023, and AI was at a point that it was possible. It had gotten to a point that you could actually have the AI to do a lot of these tasks. And that's where the idea came from, as to now we can actually kind of reduce the work of the staff that pertains to when patients are not in the office, so that we buy their time for them to actually have more time to focus on the patients when patients are in the office. This has a lot of kind of, features as to, you could have the AI to be the front line, depending on the type of the office, as to the AI could actually just, as an example, answer the call right away. And if the AI feels like they need to talk to the staff, then go to the staff. Or some offices, given the type of patients that they have, they may want the staff to answer the call. But if the staff is busy and can't get to the phone or after hours or things like that, then the AI jumps in. And that's not just the calls, it's the text, it's the follow-ups, it's a lot of what can be automated using the AI that we try to actually do them all. that's
Okay.
kind of in a nutshell as to how we ended up here.
Right. So you pretty much created out of need, right? You were in that field, you saw what you would need to have and pretty much created. That's what you
Correct. Correct.
and
Yes,
just
that's
for like people that they're listening to us, because I know that there is a concern that artificial intelligence is taking the jobs or everybody's. So the way that this program is created is not designed to take the job of the front desk, right?
no,
It's like
no.
an assistant.
It's basically extending your team. We want the staff to focus on the in-person experience, because a lot of the, like, if you can imagine, as to just let's pick one area, right? So treatment acceptance. If the staff has enough time to kind of sit with the patient, talk about the treatment with them, give them the different options. Hey, this is what your insurance covers. This is that, the chance of the patients accepting the treatment that is right for them and it's good for the kind of oral health of the patient, as well as obviously for the office to kind of create the production that they need, is significantly higher. But what happens in many cases is that the staff is so overwhelmed with doing a lot of other things that the AI can help with, that they just don't have enough time to kind of spend that time with the patient. That's just one of the examples. The AI is just not good in like person to person interaction. It's just not, and it's not going to replace them. That's the thing that AI isn't good at. And our intention has never been to kind of replace a thing that like replace the staff that they are super needed in the office to make that emotional connection with the patient. You cannot actually outsource it to an AI.
Right.
Our focus has been to just give them a helping hand to just some of the mundane tasks that AI is actually good at, as to, hey, answer a phone call from a new patient and book their appointment. So, like, that's a very simple thing to do for an AI, but so that we kind of give their time back to the staff, so that the staff can actually focus on what the AI is terrible at, actually.
Right. And it is my understanding that this app also speaks multiple languages, right?
Correct. So the current version that we have speaks English, Spanish, French, Italian, German, and a bunch of other languages. And then the next model that we are launching is going to speak the first 10 most common languages without an accent. So that the current one kind of has an accent in some of the languages, but as you see, like even I have an accent. So the next one is going to be fluent in many languages, and it should cover a lot of cases. And that's another thing, right? So if you like, another feature of the AI is, even let's say if the staff picks up the phone and the person on the other end of the call actually speaks a language that they just don't understand. With us, they can just transfer the call to extension 0. The AI will pick it up, speak the language of the patient. So it helps in those areas as well, of course.
Yeah, I think that would be very helpful because that actually has happened in some of the offices that I've been, right?
Mhm.
That a patient call, nobody speaks the language, and then the patient gets frustrated and just pretty much don't come to the office because nobody understands them.
Correct.
So that will be better for patient attraction and retention, I think.
Of course, and keep in mind, our AI is not just for the incoming text and incoming phone calls. Our AI makes outgoing calls too. So if there is a follow up to be made, so like another feature that we are launching in a month or two is that the offices can, let's say there is like 100 patients with unscheduled treatment that they don't have their next appointment, right? So normally what happens in the dental office is that either the office manager or the front desk person sits and like whenever they find time in their super busy schedule, they sit down, and in between patients, they make calls to these patients as to, hey, you have this treatment. Do you want to do it or not? With us, they can just ask the AI as to, hey, call patients with unscheduled treatments that don't have the next appointment and book them to come back in. And then the AI will make outgoing calls to these patients and talk to them in the language that the patient speaks. So it kind of makes it much higher likelihood that these patients actually book the appointments, because the language that is being spoken is the language of the patient. The AI also knows because it's connected to the practice management software, Open Dental, Dentrix, whatever that is. And if a patient wants to ask a question as to, so what is this treatment for? What's going on? Why should I come in? The AI can actually tell them what the treatment is for, why they need the treatment. So it can actually explain as to if they have a root canal or if they have an alignment or something that is coming up that they don't have an appointment for, it will go over that treatment with them and explain why that's needed, why they need to come in. And what we have found, interestingly, is that a lot of patients see the AI to be kind of like a person that doesn't have any reason to convince them to do anything. Because in a lot of cases, when a patient comes to an office, especially a new patient, that if the trust relationship is still not there and the patient says, oh, they want to oversell me stuff, they want to do X and Y and Z. But
Mhm.
we are seeing actually when patients are talking to the AI, they don't think AI is trying this. They actually trust the AI in those aspects a little bit more because it's coming from a machine. The machine doesn't really have any incentive to sell them anything. So it is really helpful to kind of improve patient health this way, right? Because at the end of the day, if something is on patient's treatment plan, the doctor diagnosed it and the doctor decided that this is needed, right? So it's our job to basically make sure that we explain it to the patient in a way that they see the benefit, they understand why they need that treatment, and so that they actually come and do those treatments.
That is amazing. And I think that also by freeing some of the front desk time allows them to maybe talk to the patient and present the treatment plan immediately before they even leave the office.
Of
Because
course.
because I know by experience that when they call you after the fact,
Mhm.
it doesn't have the same impact.
You're correct.
It just doesn't.
100%, 100%. That's actually so one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning is exactly that, right? So I understand it. Like the office is busy. There is just so many people that a dental office can actually hire. Is like
Yeah.
there's so much margin on so much production. So those nice people in the office, they have to juggle phone, like they have to just jump between the rooms, all that. So we are basically opening up their time to do exactly that. It's super important to actually get to present the treatment right, actually, even when the patient is in the chair. And then like another thing that we actually have is like we have the payment system also integrated with the AI. So, and we have like wireless credit card readers that, they can actually take to the rooms by the chair side. And from my DSO days, I know that if the patient is actually in the chair, still in the setup, in the mindset of receiving treatment, they are more likely to understand the value of the treatment that is being presented to them. It has higher conversion if you actually take the credit card reader to them and have them put a down payment or whatever you need to do, than to have them leave the chair, go to the front or to the consult room and actually do it there. So the conversion within the dental chair is significantly higher than anywhere else. So you're absolutely right. We want the staff to have enough time on their hand to be able to do these things because AI is not going to do it. AI is not going to kind of like go around the office, do these things. See, these are the emotional connections that the office staff need to make. And we are hoping to give them their time back so that they can do these things.
And I think that you're absolutely right because when the patient goes up front, they are in the mindset that they're leaving. So many times they just don't have the patience to wait. They're like,
Mhm.
well, especially if they have to wait another patient that you have to attend or something, or you are answering a phone call. They'll be like, well, you can call me later. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. And then they leave without presenting the treatment, without anything. So for sure that I see the value. I wish
Yes,
I had it when
exactly.
it's working.
Yes.
How do you think that this helps reduce the stress and burnout of the team? Is that by taking away that job from them?
But I take that by helping them, right? So
Yeah.
just imagine it's not only the staff, it's also the dentist, right? So just
Yeah.
imagine the dynamic of the office. Let's say an office that has one front desk, right? There is stress on the front desk person as well as the doctor, right? Even in the sense that the smallest things, as to if there is a day that the front desk is sick, like they have called in sick, the stress level of the doctor goes up as to what am I gonna do, who's gonna answer the calls, what's gonna happen, and then the stress of the front desk is also high, because like in a lot of cases, because they are going to work, they understand what happens is that in a lot of cases they would just like show up to work and they are not feeling their best. It's not great. Just with this easy example, right, shows you, yeah, it's not going to be the end of the world if the staff is taking a day off, or if they have something to do, or if they are busy in the office on a specific day. AI is not going to do them all. It's not going to replace them. But there is a difference between having nobody and having some help that would do a portion of what the staff was supposed to do. That takes away the stress on the doctor that owns the office, or the manager, and the staff themselves. As in, like, this is like having a team. So like, instead of being one person in the front, the AI would make it feel like, oh, they already have 3 people in the front that is capable of doing these things. So the amount of work and stress on them would significantly drop.
For what I know about your program, I know you, so we discuss the program from time to time. It is HIPAA certified, right?
Of
Because
course.
that's something that people are concerned about.
Yes.
Where that
Of
information
course.
go? Are they secure? So what can you tell us about that?
Yes, we are definitely HIPAA compliant. We sign a BAA with all of our customers. And moreover, we are the only AI company in dental that are also SOC 2 compliant. SOC 2 is an addition. So the way to think about SOC 2 compliance is that it's, so with HIPAA, you kind of just say you are compliant. There is nobody, it's like a self proclamation as to you have to do certain things. Nobody's externally is going to audit you on HIPAA. But
Right.
with SOC 2, we basically had external auditors, massive auditing companies, audited our internal processes, our software, our app, everything. And they do this every year, and they go back over the year that we actually had and see everything that we've done, and they recertify us every year. So, and we are the only dental AI company that has this certification. Nobody else has it, because it's rather tough to get it. So in addition to being HIPAA compliant, we are also SOC 2 compliant.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
How do you fix, because you said that your program has a little bit of an accent. I have heard a demo and I thought that they sounded pretty good. But what are the measurements that you're taking so it sounds more like a human being?
Right. So I have to get a little bit technical here, just a
Okay.
little bit,
I am
just a
not
little bit.
technical.
I
Let's say
get it.
that
I get it.
I'm not
I
tech
get it.
savvy.
I get it. So think about it this way. So the current way that we are doing it is that it has 3 components when we are answering a call, right? So the first component is whatever the patient is saying, we transcribe it into written language, right?
Okay.
So it's whatever is being said, written language. Then the second portion is we understand that what is being said, in what language is being said, and what needs to be the response that we have to say it back. That's the second component. The third component is we now convert the thing that needs to be said, which is in text, back to voice so that we can say it over the phone. So the first step, voice to text, then analyze the text, needs to find out what the response should be. And the third step is convert it back to voice, right? So that's the current way that we are doing it. Very soon, we're going to actually change it that we have one AI that we give it voice and it responds with voice. There is no conversion in between. Think about, if I have to make a analogy between this and human, is that somebody that is learning a language as a second language versus somebody that knows every language as native language. So right now, the English is our native language, and then everything else we translate to English and back to the other language. So there is some deficiency, there is some inefficiency with doing it this way. Our next model that would be end of this year or early next year, don't get me wrong, the current model is fantastic. It
It is.
doesn't really have an accent, right?
Yeah.
But there are some cases that it misses the tone. As if I'm talking to you and I'm understanding your emotions that are embedded within the way you're talking to me. The way I respond to you is different, right? I match your emotions. That's like any conversation. But
Right.
if I wasn't hearing your voice, I could only see the transcription of what you said, and then I have to create another transcription. You could see that emotion and that thing is gonna get lost because I don't see that. It's a text. So that's gonna be the exact difference between what we have now and what is gonna come in the future. That the emotion is not gonna get lost, and every language is gonna be a native language for us. So it will keep the emotional conversation going. So if you like raise your voice, or if you say, "Oh, I have so much pain in my tooth," the AI understands the pain in the voice. You didn't say anything that just says that, but by understanding the emotion of the voice, the AI can actually be empathetic and actually have that empathy in the voice when it's talking back, right? And right now, that empathy gets lost in kind of translating to text and then text back to voice. That gets lost. But other than that, it's pretty good today. But that's the thing that we are bringing to our next generation, as to it's going to be understanding emotions. That is like it's natural to the way you talk.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So your program as it is right now, because I know that we discussed to integrate this in the future, but does it integrate with dental insurances? Does it talk to dental insurances? How do you know what is covered, what is not covered? Does it understand that?
So right now, our program reads the information about the insurance of whatever they have in their practice management software, right? So if a patient calls and says, "Hey, what is my insurance that you have on file?" we can actually get that information. The feature that we are launching probably by the end of this year is gonna allow them to actually update their insurance information for existing patients, and for the system to actually look it up for insurance eligibility and breakdown. It will allow offices to do a quick call. And depending on the insurance company, it matters as to the insurance plan. As everybody knows, some of them you have to call the insurance company. Some of them you can get it from their website. Some of them you have to ask for a fax. So I know all of these things. So this portion will actually help with all of that. So that would take care of staff don't need to call insurance companies. They don't need to do anything like that. The AI will actually do all of those things for them. Uh, we have a bunch of customers that are using that feature to test it. We haven't launched it publicly, so it's not public yet. But once we are confident that it's at the level of quality that we like, then we
Right.
will actually offer it to every one of our customers.
So still in the testing
Correct.
process. What roles do you think that become more valuable once AI handles all repetitive tasks?
Anything that has anything to do with in-person transactions, in-person stuff. That's the focus of the office staff should be exactly focusing on those areas that AI is not good at now, will not be good at in the future either. So, and that's the human connection.
So the AI is an administrator assistant.
Correct.
That's what it does. It answers
Correct.
the phone calls, it communicates with the insurance, communicates with the patient about what treatment they needs to be done. Does it explain why it needs to be done, or just says
If the patient asks, yeah, it does.
it does?
Mhm.
I have to try it.
Yes, it does.
That is crazy. And so does it send tests to reminder their appointments
Yes, it
and
does.
um
Yes, yes.
okay.
And then text, and then patient. So let's say, a patient receives a text. I say, "Hey, you have an appointment for tomorrow," whatever. And then the patient can actually text back and say, "Oh, what is the appointment for?" AI will respond as to what the appointment is for. The patient can say, "Oh, can I reschedule for next week?" And the AI will just help them reschedule it for next week, and all of that. It will take care of all of these communications that are lengthy to take care of. AI actually helps with.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I have talked to some of the dentists your program actually, especially smaller offices that I see
Mhm.
that they don't have the manpower to help with the office. I will always tell them you might want to check into this and see if it's something that it will fit your practice. And one of the
Sure.
responses often I get, well, I already have these programs that they just send reminders.
Sure.
but how is you? But your program does so much more than just sending text to the patients.
It's not just the sending, right? So obviously that doesn't need AI. There is no AI for it. So basically, if people respond to those texts, they're right now without us, somebody in the office should go and respond back to the patient. With us, we take care of it, right? So they don't need to actually have people doing these things. That's in addition to answering calls, making phone calls to patients, all of that. So without AI, you can't. You still need a lot of the staff time, which takes away from the things that they can do normally, like in-person interaction. You need staff to actually do those things. And that's why they jump from one system to answer a text and then go to the other one, answer a phone call, then do this, and then they don't have time to talk to the patients when the patients are in the office. That's the difference, right? The difference is it's just sending a traditional text versus not only sending the text, but also being able to handle what the response is and what the phone call says, all that.
Personally, I think that those programs that just send tests and then you have to answer, I found them quite annoying because usually it will be programming every computer. So let's say that I am clinical, and if I am working in my operatory on something else and I'm in the computer, all of a sudden that popped in. And if I might be covering something that I wanted to be covered, and if I don't answer, it won't go away because I feel like if I exit it, then it just is going to exit and that
That is
patient
true.
is not going to be answered.
That
So,
is true.
so it's, so I feel in the
Uh,
obligation to kind of like answer sometimes, but often I don't know what they are about because I I don't have the information about that patient. It might not be my patient,
Correct, correct.
you
And
know?
so the good thing is AI knows everything about, so it knows if they need to answer it, they need to do something. Just imagine this scenario, right? 80% of new patients when they call or when they actually, so we also have this chat widget for the website that offices can add to their website for the visitors to their website to just ask any questions and all that. And the AI answers those questions too. So they can ask any question that, do you cover this? Do you cover that? Do you have insurance? Do you have this insurance? Whatever that is. And then they can actually book the appointment via talking to the AI that way too. So just imagine that patients, when they call, usually they need their appointments. 80% of new patients that call need the appointment for the next 2 days. And more than 80% of them, if they don't get a response within the first 5 minutes, because especially for new patients, usually there is some pain involved because patients usually don't go to a dental office unless there is pain, at least for the beginning. And
Willingly.
if they don't actually receive the response back, they go to the next office. They just pick up a phone and call the next office. So if you don't have people answer those calls or answer those texts immediately, you basically lost a new patient. And the AI actually helps with that, right? So the AI is always there, the after hours, during business hours, the weekend, and it's always in a good mood. It is just talking to the patient that they are calling, and they are never going to miss a call or miss a text. And it's immediate. There's not like, hey, oh, I just came and listened to this voicemail. Oh, God, I have to now contact this patient, see if they still need an appointment or not. None of this, right? The AI will take care of all of it in real time.
Yeah. I know for a fact that that is true because I am one of those patients.
People do that with their, like, especially for the first dentist, right?
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
don't have a dentist and now you have pain, it doesn't really matter. If this person answers, they get your business. If they don't, you're up to the next one because there is no relationship yet. So
Exactly.
even with the existing patients, right? If somebody has like toothache, and toothache is one of the worst pains, if they have a toothache and they are calling and the office is not answering right away, you might lose that patient.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess that the benefits of AI is that it can answer at any time, any
Correct.
day of the week,
Correct.
which is great. So where do you see AI in dentistry in the next 5 to 10 years?
So the way I see AI in dentistry, right, is there two categories. There is the clinical AI
Hmm.
companies like Overjet and Pearl that basically they analyze the X-rays and they mark the issues that they see on the X-ray. And then there is the operational AI, which is a company like ours that doesn't do clinical. We don't diagnose things, but we are helping on the non-clinical side. there is a case to be made that there is some benefits to the patient and to the office if there is a bridge between the two. As to if, for example, just to kind of give you an idea, if our AI is calling a patient to say, hey, you have this treatment that you need to do, all we have right now is whatever the doctor entered in the practice management software, right? Basically, the ADA codes. They have this code that the patient needs this and that. So the AI only understand that without the context, right? So we don't know how this happened. We don't see that in that kind of clinical visibility that the doctor has into it. On the clinical side, there is a thing that now, if we could actually read the x-rays or work with the company that is doing that, then the loop is closed. If a patient says, what is it that I need? Then we can actually be presenting it the same way that the doctor is, as to, hey, looking at your x-ray, we could see that there is an issue here, and if you don't take care of it because it's close to a bridge, this could actually impact that one, and it could make that worse, and we could actually explain the situation much better because we are looking at the x-ray too at the same time that we are talking to the patient. So you can imagine that it can improve patient experience. It can improve with the office. At the end of the day, the goal is we want people, clinical and non-clinical staff, to focus on doing the work of making the patient experience and patient health better, versus spending a lot of time to kind of going back and forth between the patient. Sometimes it's tiring. Sometimes patients are not in the best mood. They scream. They do things but AI doesn't get frustrated. AI is very consistent. They can explain it. They can, if they need to explain one thing 10 times in 10 different ways, it will take care of it. It's never going to get frustrated. It's going to get the work done. At the end of the day, I think hopefully, at least in dentistry and some aspect of medicine, AI is going to be very helpful to the ecosystem, to the staff that are already working. It's going to make their job much more enjoyable. They don't have to do the things that they don't enjoy doing. And on the patient side, it's going to improve patient health, patient experience, and it's going to get a better ecosystem. I can't say the same thing about AI in every other industry. It's probably some industries is not going to be as good. There's going to be some job displacement, things like that. But in dentistry and medical, that's not the case, because you still need the emotional connection. You need the people to actually do things. And that's never going to go away. So for what it's worth, I don't suggest that anybody be scared, as to, at least in dental, that AI is going to take our jobs away. It's not. It's just going to help you make your job a little bit easier and improve your work-life balance a little bit.
Because I think that every office that I know, at least, they don't only have the front desk, but they also have some kind of program that they're paying aside for them to send the reminder test and all those things. So your program seems to be much more effective.
Yes, we are all in one. So with us, they actually don't need any other system. So they still need their practice manager. They still need Dentrix or whatever they are using, Open Dental, whatever that is. They still need that, like nothing else. We're going to be their phone company. So they don't need even a phone system. We are giving them the phones. They don't need appointment reminders. We do take care of it. We even collect Google, Yelp reviews. We contact the patients after that. We talk to them. We ask them to leave a review, even if they want marketing campaigns. If they are running a promotion in the office, the AI can run it for them more efficiently. Think about it this way. I can imagine still as to a doctor telling you, but we already have a system that we can send an email to our patients and or text and say, hey, we have an Invisalign promotion today. Like, they have to come in. Sure, they can. But when the patient respond to those emails or texts and with a question and with more information, then if your staff is not answering those things right away, then you lose this. But the AI is not just sending those things. It's going to take care of the responses. It's going to take care of the back and forth between the patient and the office. It's going to convince the patient that this is a good thing for them to actually do and bring them to the office. That's the main difference.
Great. So for dental professionals that they are hesitant about bringing AI into their practice, what advice would you give them?
Give it a
We're not
try.
talking just about the front desk, but the dentist in general.
Give it a try. give it a try. At least for us, they can. So we have a phone number on our website that they can go on our website. So it's www.getviva.ai, and there is a phone number on it. Let me just see if I can just give it to you. That is 866-944-8482. They can just go to this website, call this number as if they were a patient. This is our demo line. It's because it's a demo line, it's obviously not connected to a practice management software. There is no existing patient kind of notion, which in a normal setup, it does, because we actually detect who is calling, know it's an existing patient versus a new patient. We have that conversation. But at least it gives them an idea as to how this system behaves. Because you are 100% correct as to when we say AI these days, for majority of people that they had to deal with, like Bank of America or Chase or those
Yes.
banks that they have some sort of an AI, like traditionally that's like an old one that you have to call, and then you have to say one thing 200 times and then like a different way, and it's like a keyword based thing. You can't have a normal conversation. When you say AI, they think of that as to, oh, it's the crappy service that I get from my bank and I can't use it and I keep screaming at them. So I want to talk to an agent. I want to talk to an agent so that eventually they get to an agent. This is a very different experience. This is a normal conversation. When you talk to our AI, it's like talking to a normal person. You could even ask it as to how is the weather today, and the AI will just answer it. Like, it's a normal conversation. You don't have to use keywords. You don't have to kind of say one thing 200 different ways so that eventually gets it. It doesn't. It's like a normal conversation. The experience is different, but I also realize that unless people see it and hear it, they don't believe what I say, and they are right. They shouldn't. And that's why the first thing that we have on our website is that forget about what we are going to tell you. Don't worry about it. Just call this number, try it yourself as a patient. And then usually when they hear it talk, it's different. They see the difference.
That's the game changer, huh? I'm going to ask you to give me all the information, like this number, send it to me, the website, if you have any social media platform, whatever, the doctors can find you. And I'm going to write it down in the notes so they
Mhm.
can contact you. I think that is incredible. Like I said, I
Thank you
wish
so
I
much.
had it before.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, like you really have done
You're the
yourself.
best, Emma.
Oh, no,
Thank
no,
you.
you are. So, Farid, thank you so much for joining me today and for showing us how Viva AI can help dental offices work smarter
Absolutely.
while freeing team to focus on what is important, which is patience.
Correct.
And yeah, and thank
Well,
you to
thank you so much
everyone.
for having me on your program. It was great talking to you. It's been a while that we haven't talked, and it was great.
It's been a while. We only find each other like in some conference, right?
Exactly.
So thank you so much for all of you, for everyone for listening to Real Talk Beyond the Dental Chair. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And I will see you next week with a different subject. Until then, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.